Hey everybody. I'm here to talk about relationships. Relationships in 2017, they suck. And the reason why they suck is because people these days, they value power over intimacy. They value control over vulnerability. They like to see you come undone. A lot of times people, they give you the scenery, they do the most in the beginning, they try to get you on the hook, and then just out of the clear blue sky, they go ghost. And you're left wondering what went wrong. You're left trying to nurse your abandonment issues, your trust issues. You are left trying to figure things out and pick up the pieces after they decide that you're no longer what they want. And the reality is this: people want power. They are trying to reclaim what they lost in prior relationships and prior situationships. They feel disempowered. And so, by giving you the scenery, by having you fall for them prematurely, that's how they get their power, honey. You are their power source, especially for a narcissist. Oh my goodness. I need to do a video on narcissists. But for those who are hungry for power, your heart is food. And they will eat it, eat it, eat it at every angle, at every turn. So it's up to you to protect your heart. And I realize something: when someone really wants to get to know you, they are going to invest in you. They're not going to have you doing the most. And they're not going to be comfortable with you doing the most. If you got to go all the way over to them, if you got to basically just meet them at their house all the time, you got to go over there, you got to basically do all the legwork for love. Let me tell you something: that person's not feeling you. That person is not feeling you. What they're feeling is basically disempowered, and they're trying to use you as a come up. And a lot of people these days, they're trying to use your honest feelings as a way to recoup and reclaim what they feel that they lost. And my crew can't go for that. My crew cannot go for that. It will be fair or it will not be. That's my motto. If you're not meeting me halfway, if you're basically just having me do the most, if you're trying to coast on my love, I can't. There's a part of me that just turns off. It just goes flat because I refuse. I've been in relationships before where I basically wanted it more than the other person. And so I kept on trying and investing and trying my best to do everything. And then I sat back and I realized, wait a minute, I'm doing the most here. I'm basically giving the most here. And while you're not supposed to be keeping score, and while you're not supposed to have this invisible scorecard, after a while, when you start to feel depleted and when you start to feel drained, you step back from the situation and you start to calculate. You start to do the cost benefit analysis. And when you do that cost benefit analysis, you realize, wait a minute, I'm starting to give more than I'm getting. And when that happens, when you start to feel depleted, drained, you realize that for one, you're dealing with a toxic person. And for two, you're dealing with a person that doesn't know the concept and meaning of reciprocity. Give and take. In order to survive, we take in, we let out. We take in, we let out. If a person's not investing and putting in, you have nothing to put out. And that's what I tell them. I tell my lovers now, if you want me to invest in you, if you want me to value you, I need you to put something in. Because if you don't put nothing in, then I have nothing to give out. And so if they really value you, like they say they do, they're going to want to invest. It's going to be a natural thing. You're not going to have to beg for it. You're not going to have to demand it. It's going to be natural. And that's important. Stop doing the most in the relationships, man. Do your part. Do your part. But don't do the most. Because when you do the most, you're going to regret it. And so this is Lewis Speaks, El Majesty, saying, you know something? Try your best to love. Try your best to love. Come from the heart. But when you see that your heart is being taken advantage of, and when you're being taken for granted, you got to dead it. It's just that simple. You have to, regardless of whether or not you want to. You have to. Your survival depends on it. So, everybody, y'all have a good night.